So when I think of entrepreneurs, I think of people who have risky behaviors. And my wife thinks of me as an entrepreneur taking risky behaviors. And I don't think that's the case.
It's all about earning the right to do something, right? Just because you're fired doesn't mean you're an entrepreneur. And just because you're in a big company and it's sucking your soul and it's a miserable experience doesn't mean you should be an entrepreneur. You should have a valid business idea. You should vet that business idea to know that people would buy it or want it, and then see if you have the ability to build a team that would be respectable enough to deliver on it, right?
Why are entrepreneurs so risk adverse?
You have no control over what you're going to do, how you're going to make money. So do you want to be an employee, or do you want to set the course and reap the benefits of your effort? And so if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to take the risk and for some amount of time invest my money, invest my time, maybe not even be taking the salary, I kind of want to know that I'm doing the right thing.
I would say that we are calculated risk takers for the most part. I would not step out and start a company if I did not have a safety net, if I could not afford to do so for some time.
What do you do to mitigate risk before, during the process of having a startup?
You can control your fate. You should be smart about the risk you take, though. So if you're thinking, hey, I want to start a business, you should think, one, what's my business model? Am I going to be able to make money? You should talk to people that are going to be your customer and see if they'll part with value for what it is that you're making or selling, and know before you start, the sort of field of dreams. If I build it, they will come. So you can go, well, I've talked to a couple people. They think what I'm going to do is cool. It's missing in the market, or it's better than what's in the market. I should do this. And if I'm reasonable and I deliver a good product, these people may buy it, or someone like them might buy it. That's how you mitigate risk. You test the market, you talk to customers, and you don't fool yourself. You don't go, wow, this would be really fun to do this. Horrible.
Well, I think, initially you mitigate the risk by having a good, amount of savings to float you along. If you think you need 6 months to raise money and kind of get to a milestone, plan on 18. I mean, that's the reality. And in fact, one of the best pieces of advice I got from someone was to keep in mind the rule of pi, 3.14159. Everything takes 3 times as long, costs 3 times as much, and is going to be 3 times more difficult than you anticipate. And you need to plan for that.
What are the assumptions that people make about entrepreneurs that aren't correct?
They probably think that you work when you want to work, which is true, that you have flexibility. You can start at a certain time and maybe you end at a certain time. But I work more hours as an entrepreneur than I did when I worked for a big company, because I have a sense of ownership.
There's this perception that we're all, lunatics, and I think, compared to your average person who takes comfort in having, the corporate job, there may be some truth to that.
Your identity is not wrapped up into working for a big company X, right? Your identity is wrapped up in, I created this brand. I created a product where there was no product. I made customers see that they needed something that never existed.